The rain was steady that night, soft and cold like the silence that had settled over the little red house on Maple Lane. On the doorstep sat a small gray cat, soaked to the bone, his green eyes wide with confusion and fear. Inside, the lights were off. The windows were dark. The warmth that had once filled every corner of the home had vanished. Oliver didn't understand what had happened. One moment, everything was normal. Ethan had been laughing, playing with his toy cars on the rug, tossing bits of chicken from dinner onto the floor for Oliver to chase. The next moment, there were sirens, shouting, rushing feet. And then nothing, the door closed. And it never opened again. But Oliver waited. He sat at the door the next day, and the day after that. When the sun rose, he was there. When it rained, he tucked himself against the step. When the wind howled and the snow piled up against the porch, he waited, his tail curled around his feet, his ears twitching at every car, every voice, every footstep. He was waiting for Ethan. He remembered the day Ethan found him. Just a kitten hid in a box near the grocery store, crying for his mother. And then two hands, small, warm, lifted him up. Can we keep him, Mom? Please, I'll take care of him. From that moment on, Oliver belonged to someone. Ethan would hold him close during thunderstorms. He would read to him at night. They shared cookies under the blanket fort. Sometimes, Ethan would cry into Oliver's fur when kids at school were mean. And Oliver would just sit there, purring, giving his boy the only comfort he knew how to give. Then, one day, everything changed. Ethan collapsed at school. The doctor said the word no parent ever wants to hear. Cancer, and it was serious, aggressive. Treatment had to start immediately. The family packed and moved to another city. No time to come back. No way to bring a sick child back to an empty home. They didn't think the cat would stay. But Oliver did. For days, people came to check. A neighbor left a dish of food. The mailman crouched beside him and left tuna. You're still here, huh? He'd whisper. Still waitin'. Weeks turned to months, then years. Oliver grew thinner. His fur dulled. But his eyes remained the same, full of silent hope. Every time a car drove by, he looked up. Every time a voice echoed down the street, he perked his ears. And every time it wasn't Ethan, his heart sank. But he stayed. 3 winters passed. 3 springs bloomed. Children who had once waved at Oliver as they passed now walked by without a glance. New neighbors moved in across the street. Some thought he was a stray. Others thought he was just old and stubborn. But Oliver knew the truth. He was waiting for his boy. He made routines. In the morning, he'd stretch his aging limbs, blink up at the sky, and stroll along the front edge of the porch, scanning the horizon. Every rustling leaf, every passing bicycle, every distant hum of an engine stirred a little spark in his chest. Maybe it's him. Sometimes, a little girl walking by would leave a handful of food. Her father once whispered, maybe he's waiting for someone. And from that day on, they left kibble by the step. Oliver never begged, never wandered. He stayed. Because this place held the only scent that mattered, Ethan's. One neighbor even built him a small wooden box, lined with old towels. There, the man said as he set it down beside the door. Every soldier needs a shelter. That box became Oliver's castle, his post. From there, he could see the entire yard and the road beyond. His watch never faltered. Back in the city, Ethan's world had changed. Hospital rooms. Medications. His hair fell out. His skin went pale. He missed birthdays, holidays, and even school plays. But he never stopped thinking about Oliver. When he closed his eyes, he imagined the soft sound of paws tapping on the hardwood floor. He imagined the warmth of fur against his chest. He imagined home. I wonder if he remembers me, he whispered once. I'm sure he found someone new. His mother replied gently. Cats move on. But Ethan shook his head. Not Oliver. He wouldn't leave. Years passed before they returned. It wasn't planned. Ethan had completed his final treatment. The word, remission, was spoken. They decided to visit the old house, to close a chapter, to remember what they left behind. Ethan didn't expect anything. He just wanted to look at the house one last time, but when the car turned onto Maple Lane, he gasped. There he was, sitting on the porch, gray fur, thin frame, eyes like emeralds. Oliver. Ethan opened the door slowly, stepping into the driveway like someone approaching a dream. Is that you? The cat turned. Something inside Oliver recognized that voice. Older, deeper, but familiar. His ears twitched. His body froze. Then he ran, not fast, not like before, but a limping, hopeful sprint straight into Ethan's arms. Ethan dropped to his knees and caught him, holding him close. "Oliver!" he cried, his voice breaking. "You waited." Oliver meowed, a long, trembling cry, like all the years of silence spilling out at once. Ethan wept into Oliver's fur. The world faded. There was only this moment. "I'm sorry," he whispered. I didn't know you waited." Oliver didn't blame him. He was home. They stayed like that on the porch for a long time. Inside, everything was covered in dust. Sheets draped over furniture. A smell of abandonment hung in the air. But with each step Ethan took, Oliver followed, rubbing against every corner, reclaiming it all. That night, they lay on the old couch. Ethan in a blanket, Oliver curled on his chest. Neither of them slept. They just existed, together, in quiet happiness. In the weeks that followed, Ethan restored the house. He brought in fresh food, scrubbed the windows, painted the walls. He bought toys and treats for Oliver. A soft new bed. A collar with a silver tag that read, "My name is Oliver." I waited. The story spread. A neighbor posted about the reunion online. Within days, it went viral. Thousands of people shared it. This cat waited for 3 years at the door, and his boy came back. Photos of Oliver flooded the internet. Artists painted him. Journalists called. People from across the country sent cards, toys, even portraits. Ethan was invited to speak at a school event. He stood at the podium nervous but proud. "I thought I lost everything," he said, "but there was someone waiting. No matter how long it took, no matter how hard it was." He paused, holding up a photo. "This is Oliver, my best friend. He never gave up on me." The room fell silent, then erupted into applause. Back home, Oliver sat in his window perch. Older now. Slower, but still full of that same quiet strength. Time moved on. Ethan graduated. He got stronger, healthier. And Oliver remained his constant companion. He followed him from room to room, sat at his feet while he studied, curled beside him during movie nights. But nothing lasts forever. One evening, Ethan found Oliver staring out the window, eyes fixed on the road. "You don't have to wait anymore," he said softly, kneeling beside him. "I'm not going anywhere." Oliver leaned into his touch, purred and closed his eyes. That night, under the stars, Oliver passed away peacefully in Ethan's arms. No pain, no fear, only love. Ethan buried him under the oak tree in the backyard. A small stone marked the place. "Oliver, the cat who waited, you brought me home." Years passed. Life changed. But Ethan never forgot. Sometimes, he'd sit on the porch with a cup of tea and look toward the road, half expecting to see a little gray cat sitting, waiting. He kept Oliver's wooden shelter by the door. When people asked why, he simply said, "To remind me what love looks like." Because love isn't always loud. Sometimes it waits, quietly, faithfully, for 3 years or as long as it takes. And sometimes, when you least expect it, love is still there, sitting patiently by the door, waiting for you to come home.